Ladies and gentlemen, my name is the sensational Sentell Whiteman, and you are watching the best damn sports podcast. Period. Sentell. We're live on YouTube. What is up? Football season is right around the corner. We are here, baby. We have made it. We had a few games last week, week 0, something to kind of get your mouth wet, a little appetizer. But this weekend, college football is giving you the main course, the entree, the full dish. We have big time games, big time matchups. One of the biggest opening weekend I can remember, 3 ranked versus ranked matchups, and they start off at 12 noon and end at 7:30 p.m. on Sunday night for that last of the trio of those 3 big games. But man, welcome to the show. I am the host, Sensational Sentell Whiteman, aka Mr. Know It All, aka the One Man Dynasty. I am supposed to have a guest on screen right here, but again, I have no idea what's going on with my software. I apologize, but let me bring on my guest. He is joining me via FaceTime instead of on the actual broadcast. So if you hear him talking, my guest today, he's been on the show several times. Used to be a producer on the show. Now lives in Tampa, Florida. Friend, family member, very sports knowledgeable. Clemson grad, but a Florida Gator football fan. So we'll let him explain that when he get on here. But my guest today is this time is none other than the other KD, Kiwi Dennis.
Yo, appreciate you having me on, man. I'm happy it's football season again. We get to start back with having meaningful Saturdays again.
Yeah.
You
know, when that Notre Dame game and Ohio State games end, and you go, hey, it was such a high. You was on a high, and you realize you got 7 months before you see that again. And it's like the most saddest thing ever.
All we got forward to look to is baseball, which, all right.
And look, I love my baseball, but my viewing audience is not really a lot of baseball fans, so I don't want to get that twisted. So that's why, I go into kind of a hibernation mode once really best. But I've noticed in the last couple of seasons, I've been doing this show, that even the basketball talk is not nearly as prevalent as the football conversation.
Yeah, I agree. I'm a huge basketball, especially college basketball fan, so I look forward to that. My boy's been the defending national champs. Had to throw that plug in there, but definitely, it's a football. You live in a football area. That's what it is. That's what it's gonna be.
That's what it is. You're in the South, and there's no NFL. You got some NFL teams. Now, for a while, you didn't have the Carolina Panthers for a while. You only had Atlanta. But here in the South, Alabama don't have a pro team. Tennessee don't have a pro team. South Carolina don't have a pro team. So this is what you have. You have college sports. So college football is king. And, man, I'm excited, man. What a great time we are. It's like Christmas time for adults. It's like Christmas time for adult males. I should say adult males and some females. Don't come for me. But we got 3 big games we're gonna talk about in just a minute. But before we get into that, listen, I'm sitting here decked out in this orange and blue. You wore decked out. I'm sure you wore decked out to be on the show in your orange and blue. So let's just for a second, let's talk about our Gators. I gotta be honest with you. This is the most excited I've been in a while to watch a Florida football team play. The expectations are through the roof. I haven't had this much expectation in a long time. Even that 2020 team, I thought could be really good offensively, but I knew defensively I didn't think they were that good. I look at this roster, and for the first time in a long time, and you got to give Billy credit. And even I want to run him out of time after those first 3 games last season. They were dreadful. They were god-awful. But the roster construction, I look at this team, I just don't see glaring weaknesses. We've come into several seasons, question marks, especially the offensive line. How many times we thought, man, the offensive line, I don't know about that offensive line. But I'm telling you, I look at this roster, I just don't see any glaring holes. I really like the construction of the team. So give me your thoughts on the 2025 Florida Gators.
Yeah, like you, man. I haven't been this excited. I'm trying to think the last time I was this excited heading into a season. You got your optimism when Billy first started, or when you get a new coach. You're a little bit optimistic about that coach. But as far as like excitement, with and the thing I like the most about what Billy has done is not necessarily the starters. We got good starters, but we got good depth pieces too. So, like on the defensive line, for instance, when the last time we had this depth on the defensive line, offensive line, wide receiver core, one of the on paper at least one of the best we had in recent memory, reminding us of the old Spurrier days, honestly. So, I'm excited about this season. It's a lot of it's a lot of expectations. Expectations hasn't been this high either, so that comes along with the excitement. So yeah, it's gonna be a fun one to watch for sure.
I mean, as a Florida fan, as a Gator fan, I have no issue with having expectations. You should absolutely have expectations. They should always be this high at one of the top premier schools in the country. So, like you said, it comes along with it. But I would rather be in this position every year than be milling around. I mean, I hope we can go 7-6. I hope we can go 8-4. I hope we can go 7-5. But this feels different from a talent perspective. And it all starts the guy behind that pulling the trigger, DJ Lagway. I just feel like if that guy can stay upright, I'm with you. The depth pieces, the edge room is so good. The skill position, the running back room, that O-line has played so much football. You got an All-American center. I mean, I just don't know what it's not like. The only thing you look at is the schedule. But I would say this. For the first time in a long time, I can say, well, guess what? They got to play us.
Right. Like, we looked at the schedule last year going into it. We were like, man, this is a tough ass schedule. But once we got towards the end of the schedule, it was like, all right, we can hold our own.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we look forward to that this year.
Absolutely. I gave an over/under estimate. I predict that we'll go 10-2. That's my prediction. I had an over/under. I had I think a 9.5, but they put gun to my head. I say 10-2. But to me, the most critical stretch of the season is that 4-game stretch. Games 3, 4, 5, and 6 is at Miami, at LSU, home to Texas, at Texas A&M. That is the stretch that's going to define everything about this season. How do we come through that stretch? How do you see it coming through that tough 4-game stretch there?
Yeah, definitely. That's the gauntlet that we got to run through in the season, and in that little stretch is the biggest stretch. Generally we have Tennessee a little earlier, so generally like Tennessee will be in there breaking that up. But I'm thinking, you talk about overall predictions. I'm thinking like 9 wins. I'm thinking 9-3 with going through that stretch, coming out 3-1. 3-1 in that stretch.
That would be to me. That would be. Obviously going forward, it would be the perfect scenario. But we can get to that 3-1. I feel very comfortable with my playoff prediction. And we get to that 3-1, I feel very comfortable in my playoff prediction. But I am looking forward to the season. Now we play the School of the Deaf and Blind this weekend, so we won't find a whole lot about this team. But I'm super excited. Hopefully Billy will turn the reins loose and let these guys go out and put on the show this Saturday and not play so close to the vest. Because we have some horses out there. You got some thoroughbreds out there this year, especially the receiver room. So I'm looking forward to it. Let me get into some of these super chats before we move on. Before we get to those three big games for the weekend. Sonny Bridges. I guess those are tomahawks for Go Nose. Tip O'Malley. We all in. Go Tigers. And Sonny Bridges, of course, Florida State fan. Gators suck. I don't know what Tip O'Malley with the 007. I'm not sure what that is. But let's get into the big games of the weekend, man. Hey, the college football has done us proud. They have done us very, very well this opening weekend at 12 o'clock at noon Eastern time. The number 1 team in the country, the Texas Longhorns, travel to Columbus to take on the defending, reigning, undisputed national champion, Ohio State, the Ohio State Buckeyes in the horseshoe. Arch Manning, the Arch Manning era begins against the defending champ. I can't think of a better way to start off a college football Saturday than with that matchup. Thoughts?
Yeah, I can't remember in recent memory a matchup, especially in the 12 o'clock slot that started the season off this high firepower. So it's good to see, not just a 12 o'clock slot where we got one game there and then maybe not another game to 7 o'clock. So I'm glad they kind of spread out a little bit. We got good football essentially throughout the day. So that's definitely something I look forward to. This matchup on paper, it appears to be one of the ones, man. So we go see. We got two relatively new starting quarterbacks. I mean, they've been around, but not a lot of starting experience in each of them. We got Ohio State, defending champs, like you said. They are replacing quite a bit.
A lot.
But arguably, they got the best offensive and the best defensive player in the country. So they are replacing a lot, but they bringing back 99s on both sides in college football terms. So, yeah, it's going to be a good one. Look forward to see what Arch do.
Definitely could even it out. They lose 9 defensive starters off a defense that only gave about 13 points a game, 12.9 rounded it up. We don't know what Julian is saying is. No Emeka Ibuka. The running Henderson and Judkins are gone. We don't know what we're gonna get from Julian saying. Like we mentioned Jeremiah Smith. We know how good he is. We know how good Caleb Downs is. Man, I like Texas a lot. I think this is a coming out party for Arch Manning. I don't want to say I'm fully drinking the Kool-Aid, but I think I think there's some substance to that guy. And besides, Texas got two of the better defensive players in the country. Anthony Hill may be the best linebacker in the country. Kylan Simmons, 9-sack freshman season, a defense that gave up 15 points a game. Sark has been recruiting these physical, fast athletes, and they have a great recruiting class the last several years. I think that Texas actually goes in and wins this football game. I just think there's a lot of changeover for Ohio State. And Ryan Day, until that last year run, he had struggled a lot against some of the better teams. So we'll see how it goes. I think I like Texas in this game.
I'm with you on that. Texas, like you said, Texas. Honestly, they probably got the deepest team in the country, man. Like they did lose some starters as well, but their depth, especially like you look at the running back room, like their running back room is probably deepest in the country. They got receivers, they got the defensive line, man. We don't even talk about that. Like the defense in general, but more specifically the defensive line, impressive group there. Like you said, Colin Simmons, Anthony Hill Jr., like those guys are dogs out there. So even though it's on the road, even though it's an early game, mm-hmm. I like Texas. I like Texas as well.
I like Texas. I mean, I just like the Sark mentality, man. He's a big game coach. The physicality in which Texas plays with. And a lot of teams can do that. I mean, Ohio State obviously will be a physical team, but I think when you got that kind of physicality, that mindset that Texas has, they can go anywhere and play you. They don't really care where they play yet. I just think this is an Arch Manning coming out party. I don't know what I'm gonna get from the quarterback at Ohio State. They had a battle for that starting job. Always seemed like always to the end of the camp. So they're not 100% sold on the quarterback. So that's not a good position to be in when you play Texas teams that's loaded like this. So I like Texas.
I like Texas too. One of the things that's really understated heading into this game is one of the main reasons why Ryan Day couldn't get over the hump is because he couldn't get out of his own way. But last year, what he did is he gave the reins over to Chip Kelly. He let Jim Knowles be Jim Knowles there. So they lost both coordinators. It's gonna be tough to replace both of those guys. You come from the experience of Jim Knowles, the experience of Chip Kelly in college football, and we got a first-time play caller in Brian Hartline. He's been great with the receivers, but how is he calling the plays? Same thing with defensive coordinator. We got Matt Patricia. Of course, he has NFL experience, but he doesn't have any experience coaching in college football. So that's gonna be tough. It's gonna be interesting to see how they come out and perform for the new coaches. But yeah, that's gonna be something that's understated, and that'll be something to keep an eye out for with Ohio State throughout the season as well.
I'm glad you mentioned that. I mentioned it on the last podcast when they had Terrell on here about the coordinators. That's a huge deal. People seem to overlook these things every season. Man, the coordinators are big time, integral part of a team, especially when you can turn over, like you said, you turn over the reins, just give them to them. Like, you feel comfortable enough to just turn your offense over to a guy, let him do it the way he wants to do it. Brian Hartline has never called plays before. As far as I know, he's never called plays. And Matt Patricia was a complete failure in his last couple stops. So that is an interesting thing you bring up about Chip Kelly, because he was huge last year with that Ohio State offense. Let me get read some of these checks. It looks like a Tip O'Malley and a Sonny Bridges going back and forth over here. Tip O'Malley said the game is 9-3, 10-2 at best. I like the 10-2. I'll take 10-2. I'll be in the playoffs. I'll take that. Sonny Bridges said this must be locked on Gators channel. Shout out to Brandon. Shout out to Brandon Olsen. Shout out to Brandon Olsen, dog. Tip O'Malley. Sonny, bro, it's too early for you to be talking. FSU beat two FCS schools last year. That's it. Tigers. Sonny Bridges last year gone. We got a new team and a new swagger. Tip O'Malley, Sonny, real talk. I expect FSU to be much better this year. Yeah, I do too. We may talk about the FSU Alabama game as we work our way through. Okay, both of us picked Texas. Let's move on to Saturday night. The Battle of the Tigers. The Battle of Death Valley. A school that you're very, very familiar with. Your alma mater. I live about 20 minutes away from the school. It's the number 4 Clemson Tigers versus the number 9 ranked LSU Tigers from Memorial Stadium in Clemson, South Carolina. Let me go ahead and get that out of the way. I've told y'all that I'm super, super high on Clemson. They meet all the requirements that I like about a team going into a season. Returning starting quarterback who puts up a lot of points. Returning starters on offense and defense. Championship caliber head football coach. And a schedule that sets up very well. I am super high on the Tigers. 17 returning starters. Cade Klubnik, 43 total touchdowns last year. The receiving core, you mentioned receiving core earlier about Florida. This may be the best receiving core in the country. A trio. This may be the best trio in the country when you're talking about Moore, Wesco, Antonio Williams. I expect them to throw the football a lot this season and put up huge numbers. LSU, Garrett Nussbaum coming out with the 4,000-yard passing season, but the defense has been atrocious under Brian Kelly, giving up over 24 points a game last year. I think they gave up 28 the year before that. LSU has lost 4 straight openers. Brian Kelly has lost 3 straight openers at LSU. So, and what has happened to Harold Perkins, I have no idea. But let me turn over to you. Your initial thoughts on the Clemson versus LSU Tigers game.
Yeah, it should be a good game, man. I'm not high on Nussmeier. He had a solid year last year. I'm really not high on him. And as you know, I haven't ever always been the biggest Cade fan. So Cade still has a lot to prove to me. You know, I mean, he had a really good year last year, solid year. But like you said, one of the best receiving corps in the country. He should have a solid year with those guys. So. It should be a good matchup. A night game in Death Valley, the real Death
Valley. Shots. Shots.
The real Death Valley here, so it should be a good game. I'm looking forward to that one for sure.
Shots fired. Yeah. Garrett threw for 4,000 yards. He get his top returning receiver back as Aaron Anderson had 884-yard receiving. The defense gave up 24 points a game last year, but they averaged 300-yard passing a game. Now, I think this game is going to – weather's supposed to be nice because there was some rain earlier, but I just think Clemson is going to throw the football a lot. LSU defense has been horrible. They can't get to the quarterback. They can't cover like they used to. I just see Cade going crazy because the running game, I'm kind of skeptical of Clemson running guy. I will say this because I don't know who the names and the faces that are going to emerge in this offense to kind of give them some kind of balance. But I think this would be more of a throwing football team that throws the ball to set up the run, and get up and then turn loose. T.J. Parker and Peter Woods and the guy they got from Purdue. T.J. Parker had 11 sacks last year. So man, I just like Clemson on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, Clemson, like you said, they stout. They're a more complete team as of right now than LSU because like I say, since Chip Kelly been there, LSU has not played any defense. Harold Perkins, he came out after he was a freshman. Harold Perkins might have been a top 10 pick. I understand he had an injury, so I don't know where this guy has been. But as far as like Clemson, like you said, the biggest red mark is going to be the running back position. But they got, I don't know if you remember Adam Randall. He switched over from wide receiver. Yeah. So he won the starting running back job out of camp. So he'll be the running back number one. He looked good in my book through the last year. He didn't have, he hasn't really played the position before. So it was a learning curve there. So, I look forward to him. I think he can take over the reins. You talk about a big guy. He's 6'2", 230, so reminiscent of Phil Maffa. So we should have a good running game there coming from Clemson. We'll see how it goes, though.
I think it's gonna be an electric atmosphere. I'll probably be able to hit a crowd from my house. That place is gonna be absolutely a freaking zoo. And I just think there's no way in God's green earth can LSU walk into that stadium with that team against Clemson and have a chance. I think Clemson throws a block party, man. I'm looking around 35, 38 to 20, 21, somewhere around that range. Clemson up and down the field. Cade Klubnik putting on a passing clinic against that LSU defense. I like the Tigers in this game.
Yeah, I like Clemson as well.
The Clemson Tigers
playing at home. A night game again in Death Valley. So that with the fact that LSU defense is not up to par. I like Clemson Saturday.
Absolutely. Tip gets in. Big Clemson. Tyler Brown comes back, freshman All-American. Todd McShay says Clemson has 6 first-rounders. I don't know about 6, but they got plenty of guys that can turn. TJ, Peter Woods, those some dudes, man. Antonio Williams, a dude, man. I like Clemson a lot. That will be the first time you hit us throughout this program. You will be hitting us a lot. You'll be hitting us a lot throughout this program. But anyway, let's move on to Sunday night. We have the number 6 ranked Notre Dame Irish taking on the 10th ranked Miami Hurricanes. Notre Dame is a 2.5 point favorite going on the road against Miami. Love Notre Dame. Love Marcus Freeman. I called him a rock star the moment they hired him. The defense gave up 15 points a game last year. They did lose, obviously. They had a transfer in Riley Leonard. Now they get C.J. Carter starter, but they got one of the best offensive players in the nation. The best running back heading into this season in Jeremiah Love. All you need is love. Miami, coming off a really solid season, they get Carson Beck comes in. They lose Cam Ward, the first number 1 overall pick. Now, what Carson Beck are we going to get? 2 years ago, he threw for 3,900 yards, 72% completion ratio, 6 picks. Last year, he was down to he threw double the interceptions, and his completion percentage was down to 64%. So, which Carson Beck are we going to get? Plus, Miami lost all of their top receiving targets. I can't even say his name. Can you say that guy's name? What's his name? Restrepo. They lost Horton through the transporter. They lost the other big guy. They lost the top 4 guys. They lost. They get Joshua Trader, who's a highly recruited prospect a couple years ago. He's going to have to emerge in this offense. The defense has been horrendous. When have you seen Miami defense be this bad, especially on the back end? They couldn't cover a queen size bed with a king size blanket. That's how bad they've been defensively. So, your initial thoughts on the Notre Dame Miami matchup?
Yeah, first thing, with a real Carson Beck, please stand up. That guy is a fraud, man. If ever there was just a guy with some weapons around him. If ever there was just a guy, it would be Carson Beck. Like even looking at his stats last year, he had a good, stat line. Like you say, 3,800 yards, 3,500 yards, 28 touchdowns. No, most of those came in games against some scrubs.
Yes,
so look at it, even the game against Georgia Tech where he threw 5 touchdown passes. That game went to 8 overtime. So I mean, what are we looking at here? This guy. He's never really been that guy. He's had a lot of weapons, so to see him with significantly less weapons, I'm not sure how it's gonna play out for him. Especially on the defensive side, he won't have defense to save him. So Yeah, we gonna see the real Carson Beck.
Hey
Carson
man,
Beck this year.
just talking right here, you talk me out of something. You don't talk me out of. But I agree with you, man. You take those guys away, the top three receivers away. They lost some really really good receivers like that Cam Ward had. Do like Mark Fletcher at running back. The offensive line is really good. They will be able to keep them upright. That old line is really really solid. One of the best tackles in the country. They will be able to keep them upright. That defense is just bad. I love what Marcus Freeman do. I think this is going to be a physical football game. They're going to turn around and hand that ball to Jeremiah Love. I think he get 25 carries, like 30 touches in this game. And I don't see Miami being able to slow him down. It won't be a high-scoring game. I think it'll be a low-scoring game which favors Notre Dame. So give me Marcus Freeman. I just don't trust Miami. I want to see Carson Beck, especially in this environment. If they could find a way to win this game, I would think more about Miami going out, leaving this game. But I just like Notre Dame. I like what Marcus Freeman is doing.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I got Notre Dame easily. Like you said, I'm not sure it's going to be a high scoring game, but I don't think that. I think that the better matchup would be Notre Dame's defense against Miami's offense. So we should see a good matchup there. Yeah, I got Notre Dame. I don't trust Carson Beck. Honestly, I don't even trust the coach. I really don't. Great recruiter. Great job getting the program back on the right. But if you ask me the two coaches who I trust more, it's definitely going to be Marcus Freeman. Because outside of that one egg game that he led against Illinois, he's been outstanding. Outstanding hire at Notre Dame.
I agree with you on that. I'm with you. Notre Dame got really one of the best pad defense in the country. They was number 4 in the nation, I think, against the pass last year. They returned 2 of those corners. They did lose their top. They lost their top tackler and they lost their top sack guy. But I just believe in what Marcus Freeman is doing. And they're recruiting right now. If you watch the recruiting rankings, Notre Dame is recruiting again, like at a very high level. So if you can combine that with what Marcus Freeman from a motivational standpoint, from a leader of men type standpoint, I like the direction where Notre Dame is heading. If they can get the production out of C.J. Carr to go along with the running game, Notre Dame should be back in the college football playoffs. Those were the big games that we want to focus on. If you're out there watching, if there's any game that you want us to kind of discuss, if you want to ask some questions, you got some comments, I can see them on the super chat. Just get in if you want to get your comments in, you want to get your questions in. We Go Gamecock says Kingpin flies. I have no idea. But thank you for getting in and watching. Appreciate you getting your eyeballs on the program. We will let's talk about Alabama FSU a little bit. We're gonna talk about the game itself, but I want to talk about this hype surrounding Alabama. I'm not buying Alabama at all. I don't understand the ranking that they have. I don't understand people consistently putting them in the playoffs. I have no idea what's going on. Ty Simpson, we don't know what he is. That defense, they don't have dudes. You can't name the dude that's on Alabama defense right now that's like they used to have, those big time playmakers on the defense side of the ball that you knew were going to be impact players at the next level. I don't see that. I don't see the explosive running backs. I don't see that. We know they got Ryan Williams, who's very, very talented. But are you buying this love, this Alabama love right now?
I am not. Like you said, it's not the same team, and mostly because Nick Saban isn't there. So like Florida State coach said, I can say this because I don't got to strap up against some guys, but this ain't Nick Saban's Alabama team, which is basically a true story. That, like you said, I just don't see it, man. Like outside of Ryan Williams. And you maybe got the running back who is hurt now, that's not even gonna play.
Miller, is it Miller?
Right. Yeah, I think they call him Bam Miller. But yeah, they who we have on this team? Like I can't name anybody. I can't name anybody.
When last time you said that? When last time you said that about the Alabama team? I can't name nobody on defense.
Right. Usually you have somebody on defense that is projected as a top 15, top 10 type player. Who is that guy on this Alabama team?
I couldn't tell you.
Russo.
Russo. Yeah, he's pretty decent. He's pretty good. Quake. What is it? Quake? Yeah,
Russo.
okay,
Yeah,
okay, yeah.
I like him. But yeah, other than that, I can't really name anybody else on this team.
Now, for the game against Florida State, I do think would be improved. You say that because you can't go nowhere but up from 2 wins. They were dreadful last year. One of the worst offenses I've ever seen in my lifetime. They were putrid on the offense side of the ball. They had brought DJU in last year, and that just didn't work. Some injuries, some injuries along the way, but it was just as a Gator fan, it was fun to watch. I will admit that, but as just a football fan, I hated to see Florida State look so docile. They bring in Thomas Castellanos, who's about my height, from Boston College. A dual threat quarterback. They bring in Squirrel White, the receiver from Tennessee. They bring in Deuce Robinson, a receiver from USC. But the offensive line looked similar to what they had last year. The defensive depth chart, I'm not really impressed with it all. The guy they brought in last year, the 5-star cornerback they brought in last year, he's not even starting. Have you seen the roster of Florida State? Your thoughts on Florida State? You have any thoughts on Florida State coming into the season?
Yeah, we talk about college football and as far as like the coaching staff and the coordinators. So one thing we should mention is the coordinator hire at Florida State, bringing in Gus Malzahn to call the plays.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's going to work out in their favor. That'll at least buy them an additional 4 wins this season, by my estimation. And I've seen Malzahn do. I've seen him do more with less at the quarterback position. So as far as like the offensive line, you're right. The offensive line, this is the same offensive line. But if you look at them from even last year or 2 years ago when some of those guys were still there, they're a much better run block team than they are a pass block team. And with DJ, they were forced to pass block a lot more. They tried to run the ball, but nobody was really respecting DJ. So you can load the box,
yes.
and that's what ended up happening. They can't run the ball because nobody was respecting DJ out there. So I think Malzahn will change that around a little bit. If Norvell can get out of his way and just give him the keys, let him handle the offense. You know what I'm saying? I think Florida State we'll see a much improved Florida State team. Not to the level that even with this no-name Bama team, I still don't think they're on that level talent-wise. So I still got Bama in this game. I still got Bama probably by at least 2 touchdowns in this game. But we should see a much better Florida State team for sure.
I would echo those same sentiments. Improved offensively because you can't help but to go up. Malzahn is a really good offensive play caller. I just don't think from a talent perspective, the talent is not there. I think Alabama still wins this game. I think Alabama's a 13.5-point favorite, though. I would almost tend to lean toward Florida State with the points. I just don't see Alabama being this high-flying offensive juggernaut. But Florida State's got too much ground to cover when it comes to talent. I like Alabama in this game, but it's not. I don't think it'll be a very pretty game, a very pretty football game. But we shall see. I'm looking forward to seeing Ty Simpson play because he sat there for 4.5 years. I mean, this guy's a fourth year junior. If I'm mistaken. So he sat there, waited his turn. So good for that kid. I am looking forward to seeing him play. So I got Alabama as well. Florida State. I'm guessing what you think 6-7 wins this year.
I'm going 6. Just looking at their schedule. Yeah, I'm going 6 wins. 6 wins for State.
Okay, all right. Bowl eligibility. Kingpin Files. That is Bane. DeMarcus Banks himself is in the chat. Welcome in the chat, brother. If you want to get in with some questions, comments, feel free. We're just kind of talking about a few games before we wrap the show up with our college football playoff picks. Let's kind of jump around. Let's look at maybe Tennessee and Syracuse. That's an interesting matchup. I love what Fran Brown is doing in Syracuse. No guy went 10-3 last year. Syracuse went 10-3 last year. Did you know? Because I didn't know this. Did you know that Kyle McCord threw for 4,700 yard passing last year?
Yeah, as a guy that looks into draft prospects a lot. That's the only reason I knew, because I looked at him as a backup quarterback option for my team in the NFL. But yeah, he threw 4,700 yards, man. Like, the offense was wide open. You thought it was open before with Dino Babers. It's really open now.
Man,
really wide open.
I'm really impressed with Fran. Those guys won 10 games. But here's the thing about the 10. Here's the thing. They lost 3 games. You would never believe who the team they lost to.
Right.
They lost to Stanford, Boston College, and Pitt.
Right.
And beat Miami.
They beat Miami. They beat a solid Washington State team in the bowl game. You know, so yeah, that team can surprise the people this year for sure.
Yeah, they gotta replace the quarterback, so that'd be interesting to see how Fran Brown goes. You know, when you don't recruit like that, now this recruiting class he got coming up, it's a little bit different. He already got a 5-star in this class, but it's hard to replace that kind of production year in and year out when you're at Syracuse. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of team they fit this year. On the other opposite end of the scale, we got a lot of orange in this game. The Tennessee Volunteers are an interesting team to me. They lose Nico. They lose a lot of defensive players on the defense side of the ball. I don't know what to make of Tennessee without Nico. I have no idea what I'm looking at with Josh Heupel. A lot of off-season noise around the program, things of that nature going on. Any thoughts on Tennessee? Do you have any kind of reports, scouting report on Tennessee?
No, I don't have much other than the quarterback. I forget the transfer. He transferred
App State.
in from App State. Yeah. Aguilar. Joey Aguilar. That's his name. Yeah. We'll see. One thing I know is that Josh Heupel can scheme offense with the best of them.
He can.
So I've seen him scheme with Nico, even though Nico wasn't very good at Tennessee. I've seen him scheme with Joe Milton, who I know how you feel about Joe Milton.
Yes.
Hitting the hooker, who's now been released from it. I seen him scheme with hitting the hooker. So one thing I think this guy can do is scheme. So I'm not gonna say they're gonna fall off offensively. The kid, the transfer from App State, he played really well last year. So I think he can fit in that offense. I honestly think he might fit a little better than Nico because he's a little more willing to run in the offense. So go back to shades of Hendon Hooker when he was running more than the other two quarterbacks. But yeah, we'll see. It should be an interesting season for Tennessee. I don't know about being ranked in the top 15 with this team, especially coming in with a brand new quarterback.
No.
So I don't know about all that, but I don't know if they'll be that good. But they should still be all right. They still got a lot of good players. They did lose the all-everything running back, so he was maybe like 6%. Samson about 6% of the offense last year.
He was really good.
He was definitely probably the best running back in the SEC last year, for sure, without a doubt. But it should be an interesting season for Tennessee. What was the spread on that game? Was it 13? 13?
Tennessee, Syracuse. I don't know. I don't think it's that high one way or the other.
I thought it was Tennessee. Hold on, let me see if I can find it.
Yeah, look at that. I don't think it's that. Man, ain't no way Tennessee favored by 13. That'd be crazy. To me, it would be. Now Syracuse was a lot.
That's what I'm saying. I saw it.
Ain't no way. Sonny Bridges says FSU gonna shock the world. Let me be honest with you. From a ranking standpoint, yes. But would I be shocked about the way I just explained to you how I don't feel about Alabama? I'm not gonna be saying going crazy at Alabama FSU because I'm not on that train. It's a lot of people in the sports media spaces that I don't know why they're still slurping Alabama. You can stop now because Nick Saban's not there. But you don't look at that roster and go, people jumping off the screen. Caleb Downs left. He's not there. That guy who jumped off the screen is not there. Ryan Williams is there, but he's quarterback dependent. He is quarterback needy. Somebody has to get him the football. Is Ty Simpson going to be that guy? We shall find out. Running back room is kind of mediocre. Them guys ain't really, we could go listen. We can list the running backs who've been at Alabama that we've seen be really, really good. So I would not be shocked if Florida State beat Alabama. I'm just being honest. What we got in the chat? Silly and Spot says, go Dad. Okay. All right. um. Yeah. So let's look at another team since I am in the state of South Carolina. It would only be right for me to mention the team from down in the 803, the Metro, the South Carolina Gamecocks. They take on the Virginia Tech Hokies on Monday night. That Monday night in Atlanta, I want to say. Now, big things expected from Lenore Sellers. A lot of draft buzz, big time prospect after the season he put up last year. For me, for the offense of Carolina, it's to me it's one guy. One guy, and it's Nick Harbor. Can he take that step? Because Lenore Sellers need a go-to guy that he can throw this football to. Because if you look at the other skill position people, not a lot of really highly rated guys out there other than Nick Harbor. I need Nick Harbor to take that step. Running back room, you lose Rocket Sanders, who had been in school for a long time, but he produced a lot for you last year. So where you get the protection from the running game, other than Sellers, but I need Nick Harbor to stand up and take that step. Defensively, love Dylan Stewart, but they already replacing a lot of guys on defense that only gave up 18 points a game. The big safety that I really liked. They lost a linebacker that I like. They lost a D lineman that I like. So Gamecocks has some few pieces to replace, but a lot of buzz around Lenore Sellers, and I like what Beamer has Shane Beamer has done. The program a lot of excitement down in Columbia. I know you don't want to talk about the Gamecocks. I know that you hate the Gamecocks. But can you be objective about the Gamecocks? And when I ask you your thoughts about the South Carolina Gamecocks,
And be objective. And I'm going to be objective, even though you're going to call me a hater. But I really feel that this team is setting their fans up for a big letdown. For a huge letdown. And
oh my.
part of the reason is, like you said, you're bringing back Lenore Sellers. Lenore Sellers was great last year. Really good quarterback. He did a lot of improvising. And it worked out in his favor a lot of the times. But when you go back, you look at the games, like the Clemson game, for instance. Yeah, he saved the day at the end, but Clemson wouldn't have even been in the game if it weren't for the mistakes of Lenore Sellers, right? Threw two picks, fumbled the ball, you know what I'm saying? So that's a lot of stuff you still have to do with. And by this time, this is the end of the season, so he ain't a young starter anymore at this point. So he's losing weapons on offense. We do need to see Nick Harbor, and I think you'll get an improved Nick Harbor because he gave up track, so he's solely focusing on football at this point. So I think
great point.
I think that's going to be something that actually improves his status as playing football. But the defense is why I say this team is in for a big letdown. They lost a ton of talent on the defense, and you look at the team. And you're thinking about when's the last time you had a South Carolina team that had 4 players drafted within the first 4 rounds of the NFL draft? And that's what this latest team is coming off of. Now they're not equipped to handle that type of that type of depth going out of the team. So honestly, again, you call me a hater, but I see it. You know what I'm saying? The writing's on the wall. Like this. Last year, Sellers was great. Yeah, the defense saved the team a lot of the times, and a lot of folks don't talk about that. They just want to talk about how great Sellers was, how many plays Sellers made. But if you don't have the defense making the plays, I speak specifically for the Clemson game because that's probably like a microcosm of their season right there. If you look at the Clemson game, the defense saved the day. The defense is who actually allows Sellers the opportunity to be able to come back, and you're losing a lot of that defense in what they're returning this year. So realistically, I think they're in for a little bit of a letdown. Like most people are saying, like, hey, we should have been in the playoffs last year, and this is gonna be our year. Guys, peel that back a little bit. I don't know about that, South Carolina fans. Watch out, Gamecock. You're in for a little bit of letdown.
Ooh, you heard it from the horse's mouth. Yeah, I think obviously some growing pains for the Sellers. I think he has to take a jump. He has to become better. Obviously, better in the passing game, more efficient in the passing game. We get enamored with these wild plays, the splash plays, the off rhythm plays. It's the plays that you make consistently. Those throws from the pocket, the easy stuff, the intermediate throws, the check down. Do you do the easy stuff well? So you get enamored with the splash plays, the big size, the frame. People going around calling baby Cam Newton. So yeah, you can get a lot of hype with that. The schedule is it's an SEC schedule. These SEC schedules, other than certain teams, they are just brutal. And if Carolina go 9-3 again, I think most people will say that's a great season. Could you get into the playoff 9-3? Possibly. I don't know if the schedule's that tough, but I like Carolina. I mean, I like the North Carolina. Look, I need to see more out of him in the passing game, obviously. But he does. They do fit into my criteria that I look for on teams that I like to hitch my wagon to when I go to make these predictions that I'm about to make. We're gonna make later on. Return quarterback who puts up a lot of production. Like I said, the defense, can they stay put? Can they stay put? Or are they gonna get worse than they were last year? Because, like you say, we mentioned this multiple times. That defense was really good, and a lot of those guys are gonna playing on Sundays now. So we shall see. Need to see a mercy of Nick Harper. Can they find a running game to complement Lenore Sellers? I do think Virginia Tech, even with Kyron Jones, who's a really good dual threat quarterback, they lost their best player in the running back too, and he's gone. And they lost the top receiver. So I do think Carolina, I expect them to beat Virginia Tech, but the type of game would kind of tell me what kind of season is in store for the game. Cause if this is a slow game, there's a low score, have to pull it out toward the end, that would concern me, especially going into that SEC schedule. If I was a Gamecock fan.
Yeah, the Gamecocks ranked number 13. I know these preseason rankings, but what a lot of times what comes with the preseason rankings is the expectations.
Yes.
So, like I said, the fans see that. They see that the Gamecocks are going into the season ranked number 13, and they're saying, "Hey, we're just one spot away from being in the top 12." But it's a long season, like you say. They have an SEC schedule. The Virginia Tech game gonna be a lot tougher than what they are thinking. And they're gonna be in prime time. Well, not prime time necessarily, but they're gonna be in the spotlight, being that they're the only team really playing at 3:00 on a Sunday. So a lot of eyes gonna be on the Gamecocks. Like you said, I guess we'll learn a lot about the maturity of Lenore Sellers in this game. If like you say, he can make the routine plays, because me and you, we used to seeing that from Anthony Richardson. That kind of the same similar player in that sense. Make a lot of splash plays, but a lot of the day-to-day plays that you need to make as a quarterback, they weren't there. So good thing Sellers came back. We'll get to see a lot of that. So should be interesting. We'll see that or what he's going to be from this game itself.
Yeah, redshirt sophomore, third year in the program. He took a significant jump in his first year starting. This will be his second year starting. So a lot of football, that experience will give him a lot of confidence as we head into this football season. But so those are the games that we kind of focus on. If you're out there, you watching, you in the chat, if there's any game that you want to focus on, talk about, or give thoughts on, let us know. So before we head out of here, we do want to get into our playoff teams and why we think they're going to the playoffs and give you our champion. I will say this: we have reserved the right to change our mind. This is early. This is very, very early. It's very fluid. I don't want to say you can't go too late into the season before you start changing things. But this is the first prediction of the season, and it's a long season. So, but we have to reserve the right to change our mind within the first 3 weeks of the season. We can change our picks. We had reserve the right to change our picks if we choose to. But if you're out there watching, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Like the podcast, share the podcast. If you're out there watching, this is Sentell. You know what it is, the best damn sports podcast, period. I'm your host, the sensational Sentell Whiteman. I am joined by my co-host, Kiwi Dennis, via FaceTime. He was supposed to be on your screen right there. You can see his lovely face, but it didn't work that way. But we got him here anyway, so technology is working overtime today. But let's get into these playoff teams. Look, we're not sliding these seeding. This is not seeded. These are just our 12 teams that we think are going to make the playoffs. I don't have this seeded, so don't get me caught up and twisted in this. I don't have it seeded. These are just my 12, the best 12 teams that I think are in college football. Based, obviously, a team got to win the Big 12, so let me make sure I got that team is in there. And my G5 team is in there. G5, which is non-power 14. You have to have one of those guys, whoever win their conference, the highest ranked team that wins their conference. So let me give you my 12 without further ado. I got Clemson I think this is a no-brainer. I think this. I think this is the best team in college football with the easiest schedule set up. So let me get Clemson. I have Penn State. Again, you know what I look for. Drew Allard, returning quarterback, played a lot of football, put up big time numbers. They have Nate Singleton returning running back. They do got to replace Ty Warren. Abdul Carter on defense. I asked Terrell last time we was on who are those receivers that's going to step on the outside because they didn't have that in the last couple seasons to really stress defenses out. If you don't have those big time whips on the outside, it makes you a lot easier to defend. So who steps up out there? I like Texas a lot. Love Arch Manning. Love what Sarkisian has done out there. Big, fast, physical football team. I think they win the SEC. I got Notre Dame, independent. Love what Marcus Freeman had done. We talked about them earlier, so no need to go more into that. I have Arizona State winning the Pac-12. They have one of the best receivers in the country, All-American Jordan Tyson. Sam Levitt is back on offense. They bring back the majority of their team. Defense, not too much to look at, but I like Dillingham, the coach. So I like Arizona State to win the Big 12. Now here's where it gets a little shaky. I feel very comfortable about those 5 teams. I will be honest. These next 7, I am not. Okay, I'm confident in 1, maybe. But these are so fluid right here to me, for in my mind. So I got Oklahoma as a playoff team. It's like Oklahoma, like the schedule. I like John Mateer, the transfer from out at Washington State, who followed Cam Ward. Cam Ward with the Miami last year, he did good. I think John Mateer comes in and help Oklahoma. I like Florida making the playoff. I've already said this is a multitude of times. So that's 7 teams. I like Illinois out of the Big Ten. Like their returning quarterback. 19 returning starters. Luke Altmaier, the returning quarterback. Play a lot of football. I like them. So that's 6, 7, 8. So I need 4 more. So this is where I was just, ooh, man. So I'm gonna take. I need 4. I need 4 more. Let me have Ohio State, and not necessarily that I believe a lot in Ohio State. I just think they've won 11 games like the last 4 seasons or something like that. Last 4 full seasons. I just think it'd be hard for them not to win 10 games, even though I don't think they'll be as good as they've been in the past. So let me have them at 9. That's 9. Let me have Carolina. I'll take Carolina. Let me take Carolina at 10. And then I'll take Georgia Tech. Because I was leaning Miami, but you kind of talked me out of Miami. Let me take Georgia Tech. I'll take Georgia Tech. And let me have, as my G5 team, the University of South Florida Bulls.
Nice. All right, so I'll give you my list. I'll start with the conference winners. Gonna be a little bit of shock in here. So
Okay.
hear me out.
I got you.
I got the Big Ten winner, being Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't trust James Franklin until James Franklin show me how to trust him. I can't trust him to win the Big Ten or the big game against Ohio State. So I got
no issue with that.
Ohio State. Right, I got Clemson winning the ACC.
Mm-hmm.
We talked enough about them. I got Texas winning the SEC.
Mm-hmm.
And then my shocker, hear me out. I really like Texas Tech in the Big Ten.
I'm not mad at that. I am not mad at that.
I really like Texas Tech. They got a really good offense. They're returning a lot. Your boy Caleb Davis.
Mm-hmm.
Caleb Douglas, transfer from Florida. He's going to be good. They got another really big-time transfer in Reggie Virgil, another wide receiver. They're returning the quarterback. Last year, looking at, what was his name? I forget, Morton. His name is Morton. I forget his first name, but his name is Morton. He threw for 3,300 yards last year, 27 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, always 63% completion percentage. And they got the former 5-star Micah Hudson. So whatever can get out of Mike Hudson, is gonna be gonna be good. So if they can figure out how to stop a couple people on defense, which a Big 12 defense, that's all you need. Just make a couple stops here and there. So if they can figure that out, their schedule is favorable. So really, I can see them winning the Big 12. And Big 12 always had a surprise team to come out
right.
and win it all. So, yeah, I got Texas Tech winning Big 12. And then another bit of a shock is I really like this team. And honestly, it stemmed from playing college football. But I really like East Carolina. I went back, kind of looked at their team. I looked at their schedule. So that'll be my group of 5 team. East Carolina, they play
the Pirates.
BYU, yeah, they from the American Conference, so they play BYU on the road, but that's really probably their toughest game. But they got a very beatable NC State team. They're playing them. Well, they got BYU at home. I'm sorry, and then they got NC State on the road. So that NC State team is beatable. They do play the first week, so we'll see how it goes. With this, if they can win this game, then I think they got a good road to get into the playoff. So then I got. Those are my 4 conference winners and the group of 5 winners. So I got 7 more. I got 2 more teams coming from the SEC in Georgia and Florida. I got SMU coming out of the ACC, and then I got 4 teams in the Big 10, finishing up with Penn State, Oregon, and surprisingly Illinois, because they avoid the gauntlet, so they don't have to play Oregon, they don't have to play Penn State, so really they can get away with just playing Ohio State. They do have Indiana, but I think Indiana takes a step back this year. So yeah, that's what we're looking at. So my 12 would be Texas, Clemson, Ohio State, Texas Tech, East Carolina, Georgia, Florida, Penn State. Oh, I'm sorry, I got Notre Dame in there too. Notre Dame, Oregon, SMU, and then Illinois.
I love it. Hey, I like that Texas Tech pick. I looked at them because we saw Kansas State and Iowa State play the other night, and I'm like, it's not gonna be them two. So and they can get better, a lot better as the season goes on. But I looked at Texas Tech and I was looking at Arizona State. I like what Arizona State returns back. I like Dillingham a lot, but I like that Texas Tech pick, and plus they got a lot of recruiting momentum going on right now. They done picked up a couple 5 stars in this next cycle. Big time old tackle. So they were starting to spend some of that Texas money down there too. I mean, obviously you can go with Georgia. I mean the Big Ten, Oregon. I'm trying to think of the team you got that I ain't got. You got Oregon and Georgia, and the SMU. Cause like I said, I was down to SMU, Georgia Tech, and Miami. So
I picked Illinois as well, so I'm pretty sure you didn't pick Illinois. So
yeah, I did. Yeah, I did.
Oh, you got Illinois?
Yeah, I got the 19 returning stars.
Yeah. I like Illinois.
And the schedule.
Yeah.
And the schedule looks good. The schedule looks good. They're bored. They're bored the gauntlet. Yeah.
They're bored Penn State. They're bored Oregon. So that's the luck of the draw in the Big Ten.
Right.
You gotta play the top teams.
Yeah, man. I got Illinois right there. Like I said, the difference is, like I said, I'm trying to decide between Miami, SMU, and Georgia Tech. I went with Georgia Tech after you talked me out of Miami. I don't know why SMU. I think that second year in the ACC. I don't think they're gonna sneak up on people like they did last year. But we shall see. We shall see. I love Red last year a lot. Right. Like I said, we're not gonna get into like who play who play who. Right? Like I say, we reserve our right to change our picks. As a matter of fact, I give you the whole month of September. You can change this. Who do you have winning the national championship?
All right. So this could be a bit of a cop out because they're the number 1 team. But honestly, I do think that Texas is the most talented and deep team in college football. Depending on Arts, you know what I'm saying? The potential there. The talent there, he can run, he can pass. We seen that in spurts last year in mop up duty and fill in starts for the quarterback. So I really like Texas winning it all.
Just for the sake of just not having the same thing, because I'm probably leaning toward Texas too. But I don't want both to have the same thing. Just for the sake of that, just for the sake of that argument, because because by that time, because you're right. By the time they get there, they win and run that SEC. They win it. That team is gonna be so ready to go in the playoffs, so battle tested, and you gotta like Archman at the helm if he is what we think he's gonna be, because that's what the thing come down to. If I don't take Texas, because Only team I can take is Clemson. I mean, as the only team I believe in that can win a championship. That I believe in the head
Yeah.
coach and the quarterback. Uh, yeah, that's it for me. I'm not a big fan of Georgia this year. I don't like Gun Stockton at all like that. I think Alabama's not as good. I think LSU's schedule is too tough. I don't trust Johnny Franklin in a big game, even though I do love Penn State this year. I think they got the pieces at the receiver position can step up. I got to find about the receivers, but it's safe. If you just put a gun in my head and say you got to make a pick, bet all your life savings, I would take Texas.
Yeah.
But for the sake of this argument, I'll take Clemson.
Yeah, I got you. I like Clemson as well. Tom Allen hire, that's a big hire.
Big time.
What's good? Yeah, Wes Goodwin always seemed like he was over his head as a defensive coordinator. He had a lot of talent, so I mean, he was able to kind of get by with the talent that he had and the recruiting there. But I think Tom Allen is a good, kind of X's and O's guys. Though he'll take it back to the days of the Clemson defense being more along the lines in the Brent Venable days. So yeah, nice. that's a solid pick as well.
Nice, appreciate it. So if you're just getting in, if you're out there in the super chat, get in. If you want to get in, we only gonna be for a few more minutes. I'm gonna get Kiwi out here in just a second and get his final thoughts heading into this weekend, this first weekend of the season is big time. We're all excited. It's like Christmas for adults, man. We're just ready to go. I'm ready to go. It's games tomorrow night. We got games Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday night and Monday. And so we basically have football games every day, other than Tuesday and Wednesday, till February. So we are full go. Sentell be back Monday for the first overreaction Monday of the season. Then I'll be back again Thursday as we preview the NFL season. We get ready for the first game of the NFL season Thursday night, the Eagles versus Cowboys. So 2 shows a week starting on next Monday because football season is back, baby. Let me get Kiwi in here, get his last words and talking point before I let him go. The floor is yours, sir.
Yeah, like I said, man, I appreciate you having me on. Always fun doing the show. I really look forward, like you said, it's going to be an exciting season in Gainesville, man. The expectations are high. The team, we got a returning quarterback, and he got a lot of starts under his belt, so should be an interesting ride. Hopefully, we can ward off the injury bug. We can ward off the injury bug. I think we definitely got an inside track to get into the college football playoffs.
I agree, absolutely, 100%, man. Appreciate your time, brother. We'll see you on the other side.
Appreciate it, man.
Yes, sir. That was Kiwi Dennis. Appreciate him getting in with us today and spending an hour with us on the best damn sports podcast. Period. Sentell. I'm your host, the sensational Sentell Wildman. We're live on YouTube. Sentell. We'll be back again on Monday for the first overreaction Monday of the season. We have to react to what we saw from Saturday, Sunday's game. Get you ready for Monday's game. 2 shows a week. Starting next Monday, we are off and running. This is my favorite time of the year, especially when it comes to doing this podcast. If you're out there watching, if you want to get in super chat, feel free to comment. I've got questions. I can see them right here. So if you want to get in before I head out of here, get on in here. But if not, otherwise, like, share, and subscribe, people. I cannot stress to you enough. You have to like. You have to share. You have to subscribe so we can have this chat jumping. We need to have this chat jumping. We need to have eyeballs all over the podcast, especially throughout the football season. So make sure you like, you share, you subscribe. You tell your friends, you tell your family members, anybody who enjoys watching podcasts and sports talk. You send them over here to me, and let them see what it is that I do. So I want to thank all of you who commented, who asked questions, who are tuning in, who have liked, who have subscribed to the podcast. I really, really appreciate it. Big time effort from you guys tonight. Hey, that was a great show. Looking forward to college football season. Hey, man, I do believe if the Gators can ward off their injury bug, they definitely can make the college football playoffs. The talent is there. It is time to take that step and get back into the upper echelon of the college football world. But with that being said, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you, Dennis, for joining us earlier. I I have been your host, Sentell, the sensational Sentell. I apologize. I will see you guys on Monday for the first Overreaction Monday of the season. It has been a blast. I will see you guys soon. I am out. Peace.